In this particular session, we thought that we'll just like walk you through how the bridging process works for dYdX token. And before we start, I think I'll just like clarify for those of you who don't know that there are now three different tokens in the dYdX ecosystem. So there is ETH dYdX, which essentially was the token for governance on V3, which was launched a couple of years ago. Then there is WETH dYdX, which is a wrapped version of this Ethereum dYdX token. And then there is dYdX on Cosmos chain. So I'll show you through the guide as well, but just wanted to clarify these things because it can get quite confusing when we are like talking about different tokens. But again, like before we begin the process, I think what's important to understand is it is very crucial for the ecosystem right now for dYdX holders to essentially bridge and stake their tokens to make the chain more secure. And right now, as the operation subDAO announced that the chain is in an alpha phase, which is essentially there's no trading enabled yet until there is enough stake on chain to make sure like the chain is secure. There is ample of like resources available. If like more and more liquidity trickles in into the chain, there should be like sufficient security bound to the chain, right? Let me share my screen and I can walk you through the bridging interface. Yeah. So I'm part of the dYdX Foundation, and just to clarify, dYdX Foundation is not running any interface. It's run by the Operation subDAO. We open source the code for anyone who wants to build like a bridging functionality. So the one that I'm going to walk you through is called bridge.dydx.trade. You can check it out on dYdX community website, or you can just directly visit this link to start the process of migrating your ETH dYdX tokens. So once you visit this page, you will come to the screen, which is essentially where you connect your Ethereum wallet. So let me go ahead and do that. You can connect like different wallets, and you have like the options of connecting MetaMask, Wallet Connect, Coinbase, any of the Ethereum wallets that you are currently holding your Ethereum dYdX on. So I'll go ahead and connect my MetaMask wallet. It will tell me to just like generate a dYdX chain address. So what is happening behind the scene is your Ethereum private keys are generating a new address on the dYdX chain. So I'll go ahead and do that. It will prompt me to sign a transaction for onboarding on dYdX chain. This is not going to cost any gas, so you can go ahead and sign it and just verify for creating this address. So now once you come to the interface, you will see there are two tabs. There is migrate and pending migrations. On the migrate tab, you will see that there is a field to input like how much you want to migrate. And it will also give you the balance in your wallet for Ethereum dYdX tokens. So I'll just put an amount here, 20 dYdX that I want to bridge from Ethereum to dYdX chain. Now, there are two options available here. You can migrate it to the chain address that is derived or generated from your Ethereum private key, which I just mentioned about. So let me actually show you on the right. When you connect your wallet, you will see two addresses here. This is your Ethereum address that was linked to your MetaMask. And from this, there is a dYdX chain address that is derived. So essentially, coming back to the screen, what this is telling you is, do you want to migrate to the same address? Or you can pick the second option, which is sending to another dYdX chain address. Let's say you generate a separate address, or you want to send it to any custodial service. But make sure like this is dYdX mainnet address when you're sending. For now, I'll just like use the address that is generated from my Ethereum private keys. Here at the bottom, you will see that what is going to happen with your balances. So currently, I have 54.7 ETH dYdX tokens. If I migrate 20, that would reduce to 34. On the on the WETH side, I think I mentioned about this. So this is essentially the token that you will get for wrapping or migrating your assets. So 20 ETH dYdX tokens that you're migrating would be added to your WETH account. So essentially, like you will get this token as a replacement, which would be used for governance on the current protocol, which is dYdX v3, and you will be getting 20 tokens on dYdX chain in your dYdX chain wallet. So I'll go ahead and preview migration here. So again, this gives you information I'm bridging 20 ETH dYdX. I'll be getting WETH 20 and 20 dYdX on dYdX chain. And just to confirm that it takes about a few seconds for this transaction, first of all, to go through, and 20 minutes for the finalization on Ethereum side. What this means is the smart contract, after like 20 minutes or a few blocks on the Ethereum side, this transaction would be confirmed on the Ethereum blockchain, and then it would be recognized on dYdX chain that, okay, there has been an initiation of a process. Then on the dYdX chain side, it currently takes about 40 hours. This is again based on a few number of blocks and the current block time. After 40 hours, your dYdX chain account would be credited with the tokens that you migrate. So, yeah, this is just something to keep in mind when you are migrating. It will take about 40 hours for the final confirmation on dYdX chain. This is prompting me to allow the smart contract to utilize my tokens for migration. So I will click allow. That would ask me to sign like how much I want to allow for the smart contract. So I'm migrating 20. Anything about 20, I can essentially let the smart contract utilize. There is a small gas fee that is spent on the Ethereum side for approving this allowance. Just cool. So yeah, so I think this was just the amount that is required higher than the allowance amount. Now you'll see that this will take a few seconds until this is confirmed, and then I need to confirm that I understand. It will take like around 40 hours before the amount is credited on dYdX chain, and I understand that I'll be getting WETH, and my ETH dYdX would be logged when I'm doing the migration. So I'll go ahead and confirm migration. Again, this would prompt me to sign on by MetaMask. Again, this will be some gas that will be spent on Ethereum side. This would be the last transaction on Ethereum that we are going to make. So I'll go ahead and confirm this. Now you will notice here that this is showing like what is happening on Ethereum and dYdX side. So the Ethereum side, the transaction is currently processing. So what you can do is you can check out the block explorer, which is Etherscan. You can see that the transaction is still pending. It'll take a few seconds, I would say, until this transaction is confirmed. And after 20 minutes, this would be confirmed on Ethereum side, and then I can check actually my transaction in the pending migrations section here. So once I search my address here in pending migrations tab, I will see that there is currently a transaction happening. This is actually from earlier. I did a test transaction just so that I can show you. And you will notice that I made a transaction of 10 ETH dYdX a few hours ago, and is still like pending on dYdX chain side. And when you are making this transaction, what you can also do is you can check out on MintScan, which is similar to what Etherscan is for Ethereum. MintScan is for Cosmos chain. So you can check out mintscan.io/dYdX, which will give you information of the dYdX chain. You can actually go ahead and search your wallet address on MintScan. And that would actually show you all the transactions that are happening. And after 20 minutes, when the Ethereum confirmation happens, this would be the transaction that you will see on dYdX chain side, that the bridge has acknowledged, or the dYdX chain has acknowledged that you have processed a transaction on Ethereum side. And after 40 hours from here, it would be credited in your dYdX account. So dYdX chain will reflect here, and you will also be able to go back to the migration interface and able to see your balance change. So I'll pause there. Of course, I'll be happy to take any questions, but I'll hand it over to Josh if you want to walk through the rest of the process for staking.
Sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Josh. I'm a CEO and co-founder at Kepler Wallet. And yeah, Kepler Wallet will be one of the interfaces that's available for the dYdX community to stake and also migrate tokens or vote on governance, manage your dYdX token, etc. So yeah, I'm happy to take any questions. If you have any, feel free to drop them in the chats. I'll try to be monitoring them. In the meantime, I'll try to kind of go over, the migration, what Kepler is, and setting up an account, and et cetera, et cetera. So let me go ahead and share my screen real quick. Sorry, taking a little bit. Awesome. I believe everyone should be able to see the Discord. And yeah, here we go. So before I even begin, Kepler has also just created this website to kind of guide you through the migration process. You can find it at kepler.app/onboarding/dYdX. So yeah, it seems like Karan has covered the migration, why that is. It seems like people have answered, what dYdX v4 is. I'll initially just go off about, what Kepler is and how you use it. And as you may know, dYdX has launched the version 4 chain on the Cosmos stack. So you can think of Kepler as the MetaMask of Cosmos. So here, you're able to kind of go to the Chrome Web Store. Feel free to search for Kepler. But once you have it installed, which I already have that, you should be able to kind of see the Kepler wallet inside of your Chrome browser. So yeah. And once you install it, you should be able to kind of, this is where you would land, right? So there are two options. You can create just a completely new wallet, a completely new secret passphrase, or you can also import your existing MetaMask passphrase into Kepler. That being said, I do want to emphasize that the address that you generate based on the migration flow here, right? Generating dYdX chain address via a wallet signature will not result in the same dYdX1 address, even if you input the secret passphrase into Kepler. So I think my kind of general thought process around this is if you are primarily using this wallet to trade on dYdX exchange, I think it would be easier for you to just generate a dYdX chain address by using the MetaMask wallet signature. However, if you intend to kind of primarily stake dYdX tokens and vote on governance proposals, then I think it might actually just be easier for you to create a new Kepler wallet from scratch and use that as your primary, non-custodial storage for your dYdX tokens. I do want to emphasize that you are able to bring in an address that was generated with a wallet signature into Kepler as well. So if you change your mind, that's also available. But yeah, I'm not going to get too deep into kind of creating a new wallet, but I do want to show kind of there's two ways of creating a wallet. One is kind of the traditional way of using a secret passphrase, right? So here, you can either choose 12 or 14 words. And this is kind of the traditional way how non-custodial wallets work. Alternatively, you can actually just use your Google account to create your Kepler wallet as well. So as long as you're able to kind of log in with the same Google account, you don't have to remember passphrases, et cetera, et cetera. So that should be fairly easy for you as well if you're not as familiar with how recovery phrase and passphrases work. So let's assume we've gone through that process. And yeah, and we also just provide a way of migrating your tokens within this dashboard. So kind of the two applications you will work with a lot when you want to stake dYdX tokens would be the extension that you just installed, which lives within your browser. And then there's a staking dashboard / portfolio website that you would use to stake and vote on governance proposals. So that address is wallet.kepler.app, and make sure that is the correct address because, there's a lot of phishing attempts, people trying to kind of steal your money and things like that. One of the most important things you can do is make sure you check the URL of the website that you're in. And yeah, just walking through our migration flow. If you already have dYdX tokens on your MetaMask wallet, you can, once you've created that, right now I have 20 Ethereum dYdX tokens, which will get turned into here. Connect my account. And because it's an ERC20, you do have to set a spending cap and pay for gas. And yeah, that begins that process. You can notice here that because I already have a Kepler wallet connected, the dYdX tokens will show up in the Kepler account that I just created. So I'm going to create this, approve this migration transaction. And, beyond that, you can also check Etherscan. You can also just check, go to the Migrate website here and verify things that are happening as well. So pretty similar. I think we just wanted to build that in case you were just like, oh, I've already set up my Kepler wallet. Can I just do that here? What's the URL, et cetera, et cetera. So let's kind of fast forward through time. Assume we have waited 40 hours, and we have 7 dYdX tokens. So this is basically how your wallet would look like, right? And here you can note that it says, $0 available because right now the bridge dYdX token doesn't officially have any value. But eventually when it is trading on the open decentralized markets, etc., you should be able to see a dollar value attached to these tokens. So I have 7 dYdX tokens. How do I go through the process of staking this, right? So here you can see kind of a shiny little button here that says Manage Portfolio in Kepler Dashboard. Let's click that. And it actually takes us straight to a staking modal, but let's come back to that, right? So here you can see this is my dashboard. And if you kind of scroll down here, there'll be a stake button. So once I go there, Kepler also supports kind of multiple chains, which is kind of one of the important things in the Cosmos ecosystem. But for today, we're only going to focus on the dYdX tokens. So I'll just select the 7 dYdX tokens that I have. And now we have the validator page. And I think this might be something new to kind of newcomers into the V4 migration and things like that. But essentially, there are a list of 100 plus validators who are basically running the dYdX version 4 chain. So one of the important things, of dYdX migration was decentralizing the operations of the exchange and even to the chain level, right? So now these are multiple entities that are running software in a decentralized and distributed way. And this is basically what's powering the dYdX chain, essentially. So you can kind of, go through them. If you know anyone, more than welcome to pick different ones. But one important thing here is the commissions, right? So each of these validators also have to eat and pay for employees. So there are a commission rate. So, if you get, let's say, $100 dollars worth of rewards, then 5%, like in this case, Causal Station would take 5% cut out of that. In my case, I'll just do with Kepler. Kepler is also running a validator on the dYdX chain. So let's select that. And here, there's a summary information of our validator. Click on stake. And right now, I think maybe I'm going to stake about 4 dYdX tokens, right? So you can do that. Click stake. And now, similar to how MetaMask requests you to approve transactions, it works a very similar way in Kepler as well. So here you can see a summary of what you're about to sign. You can set a transaction fee, but one of the kind of nice benefits of dYdX v4 on Cosmos is now, the transaction fees are fairly minor, right? So it's only 0.002. I think that should work fine, and I'm going to go ahead and approve that process. Typically, it takes maybe 2-3 seconds. It is very fast. And now you can see that the stake value has gone up. So if I go hover over to this staking menu, now you can see a list of chains that I'm staking. And in my case, it would just be dYdX. So now I am staking 4 dYdX tokens to the Kepler validator that's running the dYdX chain. And one important thing I think I would like to highlight is there is something called the unbonding period for staking. So when you stake a token, you are essentially locking up your tokens for a minimum of a certain day. So if I stake 4, I can't just take out that 4 dYdX tokens and just send it to someone else. There's essentially a waiting period, right? So I would kind of click here, click on stake, and here, we give you all the warnings. Once you start the unbonding period, you have to wait until that token becomes liquid. So that's an important nuance I would like to kind of emphasize to people where, you don't accidentally overstake your tokens and realize you can't move it. So, just depending on your situation, kind of choose a number that you feel comfortable with staking. But in this case, I staked 4, I'm just going to unstake half of it. And you click, should be a Kepler transaction. And once you approve, in 2 or 3 seconds, that's done. And once we head back to that dashboard, now it says, unstaking is in progress, and we tell you when that's available and the amount that's unstaking. So that's important. The other thing is, let's say, hey, I stake to this validator Kepler, but maybe I would like to move to a different validator. One of the nice things that we have in Cosmos is you don't have to unstake and then stake again to a different validator. If you just want to keep your token stake, but just choose a different validator, just click on that again, hit redelegate, and maybe in my case, I'll, just move one of my tokens to Crypto Crew validator. So just hit redelegate, pay a tiny bit of transaction fee, wait a few seconds, and now we're done. And so that's how you do staking. I'm gonna look at questions real quick in case there are some. And if I'm missing anything, feel free to interrupt, folks. So just unmute your mics and let me know. But if there's not anything, I'll cover rewards real quick. So right now, because dYdX version 4 is still in the process of kind of starting up, and the distribution of staking rewards still hasn't begun. But what will happen is eventually, once you have your token staked, you should be able to claim your tokens. Right now, this button is disabled because there are no tokens for me to claim. But essentially, you should be able to claim when you want, however you want it. And you should be able to see the expected number of staking awards that you're able to claim. It is important to note that the staking awards don't just show up in your wallet. You do have to do a claim staking awards transaction. So the dashboard is one place to do it, but there's also kind of a convenient way here where, once you do have staking awards, there's this nice little claim all button that's built into the extension. So you can basically claim that. But right now I'm not sure if that's even going to work because that was that actually did work. But you have to note that, you are basically accruing transaction fees, but you want to make sure when you claim staking awards, the transaction fee you're paying for that transaction is smaller than the actual staking reward that you're getting. So just another important nuance. That being said, once you click claim all, Kepler does the kind of complicated math where if you're ending up paying more for a transaction fee than what you're getting back, we just wouldn't send that transaction. So that actually makes it fairly easy. Yeah, there is no kind of limitation on how frequently you can claim your staking rewards, but just be aware that the distribution may start at different times, may be distributed at different times. So yeah, just make sure you can stake frequently. You can also just compound your stake where you get staking rewards in USDC. Maybe just get more dYdX tokens so you can sort of compound that. Completely up to you, but yeah, there is no limitations on frequency, but you do have to claim the pending rewards yourself. Okay, I think that's it from my end. I'm curious to hear if there are any questions.
While we are waiting for questions, maybe Josh, I can quickly show. We are just a few seconds away from the transaction being confirmed, so I thought maybe if I'm able to show you guys like how to check your transactions when they're migrating, I can show you that. And also in the meantime, if you have any questions regarding the process, we have created a couple of guides on the dYdX Foundation website. So when you go to dYdX.foundation under dYdX chain, you will see the bridging and staking guide, which has very clear instructions step by step how to bridge your tokens, like how to check your status of migration, as well as on the stake guide, we have put information that Josh highlighted about like how to set up a Kepler wallet, how to like stake your tokens on chain, and also a few more details available around staking. So yeah, let me see if I can maybe refresh the screen now and show you guys how that looks like on the pending migrations tab. Now that you see that the transaction is confirmed, I hope this is okay. We still have to wait a few seconds, not yet confirmed. But yeah, you can, after this migration gets completed, you can always check on pending migration and follow the take steps that Josh mentioned about. I'll put the links of these guides as well in the chat.
Awesome. Thank you. And yeah, and then, I guess one last thing is if you ever run into any issues or, find bugs or things aren't working or you have a question, we do have a very helpful website called help.kepler.app where we have kind of a lot of guides on, how to use Kepler Wallet, what are some common issues, how to fix it. And if you need, we do have the team monitoring chat channel where you can just leave us a message and we'll try to kind of get back to you in 1 or 2 days, depending on how many messages that we got. So yeah, feel free to kind of ask any questions, leave feedback there as well. We're always happy to, make this work. Leave a link to that website down at the chat as well.
Awesome. And then I think for the dYdX community as well, if there is questions, feel free to ask in Discord and the relevant channels and someone will get back to you. But just checking if anyone has got a question for Josh or Karan or anything to run through. Nascor, okay, I'll get you up on stage. That should have worked.
Hey guys.
Okay, Nascor, go for it.
Hey. Yeah, guys. So you mentioned this already, but there is no APR at the moment, right? So there is really no incentive to bridge and move your funds to the new chain. I think it would be a good idea to perhaps make a proposal and incentivize people to stake, because at the moment, for myself at least, I don't see any reason why I should move to the dYdX chain, right? Because you lock liquidity, you cannot sell it, and you don't earn any staking rewards. There is no, there's nothing positive except the fact that you are trying to support the chain itself. So, yeah, what do you guys think about that?
Justin, maybe I can start, and if you want to add anything.
Go for it.
Yeah, so Nascor, I think what is very important to understand is you should like review the blog that dYdX operations DAO has put together, who initiated the genesis of the chain. So currently we are in the alpha phase, and to move to the beta phase, the idea is to have enough stake on chain. And why moving to beta phase is important is then when the trading would be enabled, and like as the chain becomes more stable, there would be of course like trading and fees that would be generated. The current idea for stakers is that all the fee that is generated on the chain would be distributed to the stakers of the chain. So to move to the next phase and actually start this process of staking and giving rewards to the users, it's a community led effort, and everyone, like, the sooner we have a sufficient enough stake on chain, the sooner we feel like the chain is stable. I believe the operation sub DAO would like initiate the process of moving to the next phase, and the next phase as trading would be enabled and fees would be generated and rewards would be distributed out. So yeah, I think everything is related to each other, and that's why staking, bridging is important at the earliest for the chain.
Thank you for that, Karan. Any more questions from the community? Okay, cool. If that's it for the moment, guys, then we might wrap this call up. But as mentioned, so firstly, thank you very much, Karan. Thank you, Josh, for taking through the guides. You guys have the relevant links for the guides as well. As Josh mentioned, there's a help section on their website. So if there's any queries or any questions that you'd like, you can ask through that. And for the dYdX side of things, best to ask through Discord, and some community managers and user support will get in touch and help solve your queries. One final thing, as Karan mentioned, as the Ops Sub DAO blog references, the alpha stage is what we're in right now, which the focus is on security and stability of the chain. There are a bunch of metrics that really help with that, but a key part of that is actually about bridging first your ETH dYdX to dYdX chain dYdX, and then staking it to secure the chain. So we won't go from alpha to beta until there's a sufficient amount bridged and staked. Performance metrics are met, the community votes to then go to the beta stage. So it is a critical phase for us right now to secure this chain. This is the same for any POS consensus mechanisms. You need to bridge and stake to secure, and then you move into beta, limited trading functionality after a successful governance vote. After the beta stage, according to the blog, then full production will go live. And full production is when we'll see trading incentives and rewards be distributed. And just to reiterate what Karan mentioned, and the blog that was recently published, so all fees go to validators and stakers, predominantly in USDC. So to get to that stage, you have to go through the alpha and beta periods. Great. If there's no other questions, then we'll hold this call. We'll just stop this call, and we'll make sure that we post this on social so people can either rewatch or watch for the first time. Okay, great. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Karan and Josh, for joining and walking the community through these guides.
Thanks everyone. Thanks Josh.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good rest of the day, rest of the evening.
Thanks, guys.